Rationale for the use of this information. Attack hits are playing actions that make the volleyball game exciting. Both the offensive and defensive teams should learn not only the techniques of the attack hit, but also know the corresponding rules that go with it. According to McManama and Shondell, the philosophy of attack has changed considerably. Before 1964, the basic attack consisted almost entirely of the power spike. Soft shots were considered illegal unless played with a closed fist, and because use of the fist seriously handicapped accurate placement of the soft or dink shot, a soft short lob directed by a spiker over the blocker's fingertips and into the area just behind the block. It was seldom used. Inclusion of volleyball in the Olympic Games in 1964 resulted in an intense interest in the United States in what was being done in volleyball in countries dominating international play: Russia, Japan, Czechoslovakia, and Poland. Most recently, the countries of Brazil and Cuba. Pressure was applied to the Rule Committee of the United States Volleyball Association to bring the US VBA. 1966, the teams began to use international rules and interpretations under the sanction of the US VBA. Rationale for the use of this information. The first season of play involving the use of the new rules created many unforeseen problems in standardization of officiating and interpretations. One of the major differences was in the attack. Guiding the ball with the fingertips of the extended spiking arm was permitted, proving the attacker with the opportunity to direct the ball accurately to any spot on the court. This liberalization also encouraged the use of the deep soft spike to the rear corners of the court using the fingertips. The spiker, a pure attack hit, the first spike recorded in 1920 in the Philippines. Philippine bomb. Players who execute the spike have an excellent sense of balance in the air and can perceive and anticipate the actions and positions of the opposing team members. Contact with the ball may take place above the net when it is in the front zone.
Few sports contain a fundamental more difficult to execute than the spike. It consists of a running approach, a takeoff, contact with a moving ball, and landing without losing balance. It is one of the few fundamental in sports which requires the participant to jump into the air and direct a moving ball to a specific spot and on the court. All actions which direct the ball towards the opponents, with the exception of service and block, are considered as attack hits. During an attack hit, tipping is permitted if the contact is clean and the hand does not accompany the ball. The attack hit is completed the moment the ball completely crosses the vertical plane of the net or is touched by an opponent. A front row player may complete an attack hit at any height, provided that the contact with the ball has been made within the player's own playing space. A back row player may complete an attack hit from behind the front zone.
Hand contact and correct arm action. Correct arm action in hand makes up the initial pace of the spike point 6 to 18 in front of the spiking shoulder. Number 1 is, it is permissible to spike with a closed fist. However, it is not encouraged. You don't have as much control over the ball when you hit with a closed fist. While you hit the ball with an open hand, you have a considerably greater flat area to work with when making contact. Number 2 is, most people do is to make the first touch with the heel of your palm and wrap your palm around it to give that top spin. You can accomplish amazing things like race away attacks and hard cross attacks by controlling the wrist as well. Number 3 is the axis of the center line and the back edge of the assault line limit the front zone on each court above its horizontal and vertical axis. Number 4 is the athlete tucks her arm by abducting and externally rotating the dominant upper limb at the shoulder. Each player rotates one spot. The left front rotates to the middle front position. Your hitting arm, which is usually your dominant arm, is the one that pours the ball over the net.
The spike refers a hitter's use force to extend ball over the heel past block and into opposite court by the extended left arm balance. The action of the shoulder extend the spiker reach while also serving as reminder to fully extend the arm. 6. Hitting with top spin is a critical technique because it creates movement away from it towards your opponent in a difficult manner. 7. They exerts an upward action force on the ball. In return, the ball exerts an equal but opposite downward reaction force back on his forearms. The actions and reaction forces act on a different objects.
The approach. A proper approach is one that aligns the spiker with the balls and enable him to attain correct relationship between the ball and his body. Forward momentum is then converted to upward thrust by using a heel ball of the foot takeoff. The spiker distance depends on his stride, but normally he should be 8 to 10 from the net. The approach should be smooth and correctly timed. His first step is taken to align himself with the ball and the net. This approach will make the shoulder of the player parallel with the net. By doing his greater versatility is permitted to enable the spiker to hit from any positions on the court and the right or left side of the opponent's court. The most important things in preparing for the jump is the two final steps. The length of the first step depends on the distance of the ball from the spiker. The second step is shorter to allow the spiker to estimate his actions in striking the ball. Sa pag-approach ng bola, mahalaga na nakapokus tayo. Our body will be connected with the ball. Mahalaga sa pag-approach na meron tayong proper positions and ready to jump to take up the ball. The approach should be smooth and correctly timed. Mahalaga din na may buwelo tayo sa pag-hit ng bola upang maganda at malakas ang dating sa kalaban.
Take off. In this part, you're ready to position your body in the air and ready to hit. Arms extended and swung backward as far as possible. Head forward and eyes focused on the ball. Sa part na ito, mahalagang may malakas na pwersa at nakahanda na ang katawan, lalo't higit ang kamay para paluin ng bola. Mahalaga din na ang kamay ay properly ready to hit the ball. In completing the spike, the player swing his balance arms downward, straightening his trunk and flexing his wrists, and then hit the ball.
Landing. The spiker's feet should be spread to shoulder width to in his base of support, thereby improving his balance and equilibrium. The power spike is still the major offensive weapon, but with the new over-the-net block, accuracy and deception have become more important than just sheer power. So landing. Ito naman po is position after matira or ma-take off yung bola. So as what we can see on the picture is the right position of landing, which is nakabent ang ating knees and yung braso natin ay naka-forward to support us para hindi tayo ma-outbalance. Sinasabi din dito na ang major weapon is spike dahil malaki ang chances na maka-score tayo kung spike ang gagamitin natin sa pagtira ng bola.